Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today for this very special episode. I'm Kareem from Expat Republic, and I'm joined by the wonderful Robbie Zain, expert in childcare and childcare development. Robbie has had multiple award-winning daycares in the Netherlands, childcare centers as we call them, and very, very grateful to be talking with her to really learn a lot, really an expert in her field, and renowned globally for her amazing knowledge, skills, and her really awesome book called Choices, which I really think every parent should have. So really grateful to be here today.
Thank you. You did it again, an amazing intro.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Today we're going to be talking about something that, we've now, humanity enters different ages throughout time. First, when we discovered electricity, the steam engine, then it was the internet with the .com, and now we're entering a completely new age, which is already starting to transform humanity in a very big way, and that is the age of AI. There is almost virtually no profession or any institution that will not be touched by this technology. We do believe that it will bring a lot of people out of poverty, and it will just transform how business and how people interact. I think one of the things that we don't totally yet understand is how, and also in the framework of the modern family, modern childcare development, modern children, and what is the sociological impact of AI, right? It's great that I can crank out emails faster, but how is this helping our kids? How is this changing our kids? And so I'd like to just start by from a bigger, broader sense, how do you see this impacting? I know it's impossible to predict, but how's this gonna go?
Right. Right. I mean, the question is how. It's not really so much how it's going to go, because it's going already. It's here, and AI is already parenting alongside of us already for a while, right? You see AI in so many areas of children's lives now. There's the tools that they have. There's all kind of math and school subject tools that you can use with AI to improve or to help the children learn further. One of them, I believe my son, I used to absolutely love that. It's a fishing game, and it's to calculate. So you're fishing and you're calculating. It's math, and then it gets the children really getting into it. One of his teachers used to always start class with a 5-minute game. So all the children wake up, everybody's like, ooh, game, and then they're looking at it. The whole game is a math the problem. They work on it together, they come with the solution, everybody's awake, everybody's excited, everybody's laughing, and then the lesson begins.
Oh, wow.
So they are being used now. It's not that they are not being used. Those tools are available on laptops, on tablets, on phones to support children. There's also algorithms for children. There's also the AIs available to help with the planning and scheduling and so on.
Sure.
There's loads. So it's already there. A lot of parents, when they come to me and they're a little bit worried about it, it's this question of like, what would happen? It's as if a robot is going to raise their children. It's not that. AI is already there. It is parenting alongside of us. And it's not so much for me a question about AI itself, rather than a question about how connected are we with our children. Because AI doesn't teach wisdom. It doesn't. It doesn't replace human connection. Not at all. It does certain things. It teaches patterns, speed, reward, that sort of thing. But with an adult available and the connection with an adult, there is a balance somewhere where we could have, because shutting it out completely is impossible.
Unrealistic.
It's not realistic and not sustainable.
Of course.
And so you've got to find a balance. And I've always said that one of the most important things ever for a child is an available parent and a connection with the child. At least one adult must be connected with the child and available for the child regardless of the age. Bring AI in, depending on the age of the child. There are certain limits I like to stick with and what not. But then there's an adult connection as well. It isn't that there's just AI and the adults are not present. Mom and dad are busy away and this and that, and the child is left to you see?
So essentially, it still comes back to the old. I don't want to say old way, but the what we common wisdom is. You have a good connection with your child. It's good.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And no AI will take that away or replace that or change that. Or
not at all. You have a strong base with your child and a good connection with your child, and depending on their age, you guide them and set the limits together.
Gotcha.
And AI is just an extra tool available. It's not the other way that you're not here and you're not available. So the child is left alone to just scroll and do whatever and be raised by AI.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's,
Yeah.
It cannot replace human connection. So that is unacceptable. Children should not be left with these tools so we can have a break. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
You have to set your life in such a way that when they are with these tools, they are learning from you responsibility, watching how you use it as well, have an agreement with them on how to do it depending on their age. And then, sure enough, they can have half an hour or behind the screen to do whatever, and then you're doing your thing. But it's all with a human connection and an agreement.
And that's interesting because, I mean, I've started to use AI tremendously in my work. I think the way I work now is 180 degrees of the way I used to work just 3 years ago.
Right.
And the value that
amazing.
The value that my business brings to its clients is tenfold compared to how it used to be because of AI.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand, but at the same time, I was just telling you about how I can't write a letter anymore. I cannot compose a full email by myself.
Right.
That is more than
got
5
lazy.
lines. My brain just can't do it anymore. And if I really try, I could probably figure it out. But you know what? Sorry, I'm a grown man at 45 years old. That's great. And I've already developed skills. And I mean, I did engineering school and I learned a lot of critical thinking skills. But oh my gosh, what if I had this tool at 4 years old?
Yeah.
Would I have developed those skills? Like what's happening here?
It's a very good question. Again, it goes back to the age of the child, right? So for this age group, school age, what you're saying, let's say 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 years old.
The primary school, essentially.
Primary school, right? AI is a tool. It's a tool to help and assist. It's not a replacement. And that has to be discussed and agreed with the child. The parent needs to talk. There are windows of opportunity to use AI as a tool to support, but not to replace your work. You have to do your own work, and you can sometimes use AI as a tool, whether it's an app, like I said, that enhances learning because it's for math or whatever, or a writing app that's going to help you with something, but not to replace your work. That's cheating. Many schools are very good at explaining and vigilant about it. No AI used with homework, you're going to do it yourself and so on. Of course, they can use some support tools, but the work you do it yourself. So, and again, if the child has a strong adult connection and agreement, and there's respect, there's an understanding that we don't do that. And there's no need to do that because you're watching the adults do the same. Your mom or your dad or the people in your family are also using it responsibly. It's a tool, it's not a replacement. For younger ages, children that are little until say 5 years old, AI introduction is always with an adult that's sitting next to them, never, ever, ever alone.
You never let it run wild with
Never, ever leave the child alone when they are under 5 years old. The time limit is very limited. Whatever you're introducing needs to be slow, in a slow pace, not because the attention span is also really important. So slow educational things on AI are okay in short quantities when an adult is aware and is present. For the older children, going up to teenagers now, not primary age, it's not a privilege, it's a responsibility. And again, that's an agreement with the adults that are caring for them. It's a responsibility. It is not a privilege. You may use it responsibly. We talk about it. We understand. I have to say, this is so important because parents seem to think there's nothing to discuss when it comes to it. It's either none of it or you're allowed.
It's very extreme.
It's very extreme.
Yeah.
And I guess because our generation didn't grow up with AI, right? So
it's a shock to the system.
It's a shock to the system, but it's here and we have to now learn how to use it. So we allow it, like I just said, but with boundaries and being present. But we also need to explain to children how these things work. What is the algorithm? How does it show you what? What is it picking to keep you watching? There are things, depending on the age of the child, that need to be explained. So the child knows to be in the driving seat. He chooses what to watch, what he needs, when to stop and when to go. Not the other way around. He's on and he's hooked and it's going and he's just being fed information. They need to be aware that that is in place and that that's the system. Because if they don't know, they fall into that.
Yeah.
So there has to be a discussion with the child explaining what is it, how does it work, how to handle it and what to do with it. Questions like, how do you feel after you were on I do that with my son. How do you feel after you? Sometimes he asks permission and he's gained choices to spend them on gaming for a little bit, right? So, and that's fine. We set a time for him and then he games for those 20 minutes. But often I'll ask him, how do you feel afterwards? Sometimes he'll say, I feel great. Thank you for asking. I'm glad I did it and so on. And other times he'd be like, actually, I almost feel annoyed or irritated. And then we talk about, could that be because of the extended time on the gaming?
Makes you cranky.
Maybe the timing of the day, did that not suit you? And then he's like, what do you mean? And I'll say, maybe next time when you game, it should be on a Saturday a bit earlier, because the evening when your body's tired, it can actually literally affect your mood. And he'd be like, really? I didn't know that. And we talk about that. They don't know the effect it can have on their mood.
Yeah.
And so from there on, and this is really a real story, I'm not making this one up, although I give a lot of examples. So then he knows how to choose when and what he needs.
Yeah, sort of more in control, essentially.
That's right, more in control. Yes.
But let's play the devil's advocate a bit. The AI homework. This is, I think, every parent's nightmare. Is that the kid, uses the AI to do the homework.
Right, but this is
And you know what? It's a bit. you could argue that it's a little bit hypocritical that. Well, mommy and daddy use AI to do their work.
Yeah.
What? I mean, everyone, they go to...
But mommy and daddy can drive a car and you can't. Gotcha. And mommy and daddy can have a job and you can't. Mommy and daddy are not children and you are. When mommy and daddy were children, they did do their own homework.
Gotcha.
So again, it is communication. If you cannot compare that to that. Okay. And the communication is key to all of it. Also understand that AI is extremely helpful for many children to access information, right? The level of information that my son can now access and learn from, it's tremendous and it's beautiful. I wish I knew half the stuff he knows now when I was his age.
Definitely better than my dial-up modem.
I mean, it's a whole, what you said when you came today, how is he? And I said to you, he's into marine biology. He keeps talking about becoming a marine biologist. He's looking at information. Access. He can look at any fish and tell you what kind, the name, the biome, what it needs. And it's not doable without. Yeah. And that's beautiful. They are developing knowledge and having access to a world that we never had. Quickly. And that's beautiful so long as it is in, like I said, boxes. Because it can backfire in the sense of what I said, short attention span. So that's really important to keep in mind. That's why no extended time. So as you set certain times. And also that reward thing, the feeling.
That dopamine hit.
Dopamine hit. Never, ever, ever allow screen time when the child is not emotionally regulated.
Gotcha.
If the child is not feeling okay, this is not a replacement and an escape. It is not. First, we're going to talk about what's at hand and deal with it and calm our nervous system and regulate. When we are feeling top, that's when we're going to use it. So that is one of the biggest things I advise parents always. Always.
If I look at the role that AI will play, it's almost like you want to use the good and mitigate the bad. In a sense that the world, critical thinking is probably one of the most that we just not taught.
Yeah.
Right? It's very lacking in today's world, critical thinking as a skill, but it's so important for kids. And that AI doesn't necessarily help you develop that, right?
No.
So how do you do that balance? Like, okay, talked about time, and you talked about it really is a kind of habit you need to build with the child, and what kind of habits can you build that they can make sure that they develop the right skills. You know, I want you want the best of both worlds, essentially. The old world and the new world, because that's going to make super kids, right? That's it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. It's just an unknown, like it's funny, I have to smile because it's a new thing, and this is why parents look at it this way, right?
That's why I'm asking the expert, really, someone who knows, who has so much experience.
Whereas I'm sure there was a time when, because, if you go back in time, right, we grew up in villages and ate whatever mom and dad had on the farm and whatever. And then came these multi-giants and supermarkets and whatever. I mean, there was a time where parents also struggled of, oh my goodness, fast food change and this and this. And what is my child eating at school? What is the canteen serving? How do I control what they eat? How do I watch out that they're not after this and right?
Sure.
There was a time where there was a boom for that. And there was an issue where humans were like, what do we do? How do we teach self-care and exercise? Everything is in moderation. Whenever something new comes and hits, we have a little bit of a panic of how do we deal with this. But it's all about moderation and understanding that these things don't replace human connection. They don't. If you're a strong family with a strong base and you're connected and you're working together, you should be able to know what your child is eating. You should be able to oversee what the canteen is serving and teach the child to his best ability, choose this, not that. Sometimes you can have a little candy and whatever. Same with AI. This is what we do. This is how we do it. A little bit of this or this. Sometimes they'll fall off the wagon. It's fine. Sometimes you fall off the wagon. It's fine. But it's always there, and we're aware and we're watching.
Then in that case, because there's kind of a lot of self-policing of the kid himself, like him or herself, right?
Yeah.
They need to realize, and that's not always evident for the kid to realize, like, oh, this is really harming my critical skills. This is really,
But so is the lack of exercise and sitting on a chair all day long.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the same exact thing.
That's why the moderation.
Actually sitting on a chair long enough every day at school without equivalent exercise
kills.
It reduces the lifespan by 4 to 8 years.
Excellent.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So
what are we saying? You're attacking the AI.
No, exactly. So then the schools go and introduce physical ed to help the children move, but the parents also need to pay attention that your child isn't also on the couch all day long, and they're also playing some sports or swimming or going walking and whatever. So it's always a balance with all of this. It's not really self-policing. I call it just being responsible and teaching life skills and responsibility. Only thing about AI is it's new.
Yeah.
And so we're doing this new thing again.
But we're rattled by it.
Exactly. But for their generation, when they grow up, it's not new. And to them, teaching this regulating thing is the same as, watching out for what you eat, exercising, whatnot. Most likely, of course, it's going really quickly, but it all goes back to being connected with your child and knowing what's going on, not using it as an escape. Do not let your children use AI as an escape, and never ever let them use screen time when they are not emotionally regulated. And for that, I also say to parents, never ever have these things in their bedroom. They do not enter the bedroom. In the office, in the living room, on the desk, not the bedroom.
Kitchen, not the bedroom. Okay. Good. We tackled the AI homework and the skills that they develop, but I guess there's also the emotional part of the AI, because sometimes, we discuss different topics like burnout, and the parents are busy and all that, and now there's the sociological impact, which how is this new person, this new thing impacting, because a kid can go, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, 5-year-old, or 12-year-old can go and ask it questions like, mommy and daddy are fighting, mommy and daddy are stressed out, mommy and daddy money problems, blah, blah, blah. I think I can think of a million things that could go wrong in a family dynamic, but how is this AI now impacting this family dynamic? Because this is actually this is not one person. This AI is billions of people over generations that's answering you. With maybe a different value system and a different, depending on where the AI bot is trained, which country or which, it has a different value system. And so so how is this AI impacting the kind of family dynamic, right? That's interesting. And how would you mitigate that, or how do you encourage the things you want? It's difficult, right? It's not so straightforward.
It's not so, no, totally not.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the country, of
course.
Of course.
Especially how it's trained.
Totally.
But what are kind of things that you've come across that maybe other people would be interested to see?
With children and AI?
Yeah. Just what I'd love to hear, like, some of the stories that you hear.
I mean, the two that always pop up are basically these. There's the one where I see only benefits.
Yeah.
And these are the strong, like I said, units where the child is never left alone with the screen time. And when they are left alone, they are of age, primary school age, and they're agreed on a time with a timer. And there's monitoring, of course. There's tools to stop whatever for age groups and whatnot. So these are families that already have had themselves organized. You know, they go to gym on that day, they do this.
Sure.
So they're already on a routine and they're stable.
But not everyone's like that.
And those are positive, and not everyone's like that. And then that takes me to the other one, right? Then not everyone is like that, sadly, also always takes an extreme. There's no in between that I work with. I'm either I see this or I see that. The extreme, sadly, is the situation where mom and dad are busy and they have enough on their hands and and the child is often put behind the screen as a soothing time, right? So whenever the child is nagging, to distract them, you just put something on and you put them on the screen and you just
quiet them, to distract them.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not teaching emotional regulation. This is not connecting with the child. This is sometimes there could be a bad day, and that's acceptable if you're this one. But if you're this one and it's always a bad day, that's a really big problem.
That's really bad.
That's really a big problem. Amazingly enough, I have worked with an adult who is 27 years old, who grew up like that. And that's quite amazing because we didn't have ChatGPT then, but he was literally left alone most of his, he was a single child, an only child.
Yeah.
And mom and dad both had full-time jobs, and he was crazy about gaming and computers and whatever. So he developed very differently. He developed in a way that for him, self-regulation and dealing with emotions meant sitting behind the computer gaming with a Cola Zero with ice. He would sit there and just
laugh,
go at it.
Tons of kids are like that. This is common. This is a lot more common than you think.
It's so bad.
But it's very common.
This is what I mean needs to change.
Okay.
This is where the red light goes on. Not the parents that are afraid of a robot is going to raise my children. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Because AI is parenting alongside of us now. And AI is actually helping many parents right now, especially new parents, right? The child is not sleeping. What do I do?
What do I do? How do I feed them? How do I breastfeed? What should they eat? What not to give them?
And you're getting, you have, I know couples who told me they don't know what they would have done without AI with their newborn. They don't know how people did it before because they had chronic crier babies. You know, some babies are easier than others.
Yeah, sure.
But babies with they have a syndrome where they throw up regularly when the stomach's too sensitive. They wake up a lot and they need to be fed in very short intervals and little so they don't have this reflux situation. And to have a guide 24/7 available for you anytime at night with examples and tips and try this and try, I mean, it was priceless for them. And free. So you see like how it can be really beneficial, but it can also really damage, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
That's next level.
My God. It really is next level.
So you mentioned some bad situations, but what are some good ways in kids? How should we encourage our children to use technology and AI?
I think the encouragement should come with, I always when I think about AI, I and my son, like I said, because that's so close to my heart, I have to smile about the way that teacher used this AI tool before math started, where you see that it was used as bait to grab attention, make children smile, get them going, get them to calculate fish. The yellow fish are ×2, the red fish are ×5, the green you divide, and then have them compete in teams and then get their attention, and then the human class begins. These are ways that are fantastic. This is, if AI can be used, extremely positive, and it's so short. So
Right.
short. Whereas if you remember when we were kids and math was about to start, I'm not a math child, but math class, it starts and half the children are huffing and puffing, and then the teacher's like, wake up, are you with me? Look here. Like, this is different.
Yeah.
They also took intervals where the kids got to quickly answer certain questions and then they pop on the screen. I mean, it's fantastic. It's become a fun game. Learning can become so fun and so uplifting if it is supervised with a human adult who is connected with the child. They're not alone in a child taking a math class. There's an adult. This is how I see it being used. And the same at home. Language tools, there's, lots of apps for that. And the more fun you go with the app, and there are ones that are especially for children, their language skills, insane in comparison to when they went to French class, came home, and they had to write things all by themselves. Now you got games where you answer, you move.
Yeah, kind of sharpens certain skills in a way, right?
Totally.
I remember when I was a kid, so funny, you said they started with a game. We used to sing the Canadian national anthem.
Yes, I remember that.
And I'm thinking about that today. That doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
It's completely, you see the revolution that's...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we used to sing it in English and French. It was half. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's totally
AI is used everywhere now, even in sports, right? There are these fantastic trampolines, and the more you jump, the higher the number is. So they're introducing math with the trampolines. So you're doing additions or subtractions by the number of jumps you do. So you're moving.
And you're developing double skills.
And you're developing. So you see, we could actually very much use it as the fear. The reason why people mainly look at it so negatively is because...
The homework, for sure.
The homework, but not just the homework. Everything that is new, we fear.
Yes.
Everything that is new, we don't know if it's right for us. We are, I said that before, creatures of habit. If something is new, we immediately are fearful. And that is totally natural. Evolution. And normal, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. So the more you educate yourself on this new thing that has come upon us, the more you understand, the better you can guide. It's not a monster out to get you. It is a tool that's there. Hopefully it keeps evolving that way. The future is not for us to worry about and stress.
Live in the now. Yeah.
Live in the now. We can worry about AI, but also we can worry about war. We can worry about AI. We can also worry about global warming.
It's not going to change it.
Nothing's going to change it. There's lots, but AI is the new one.
Yeah.
So it is the black cloud with little knowledge for parents of what to do and what not. So take away the fear, stay calm, and do it anyway. Understand what it is. See the benefits, connect with your child, use it as a reason to connect with your child today if you haven't connected yet.
Yeah, it's another way to
Right? Use it as a tool.
Yeah.
It's your chance to connect with your child if you've never connected yet, or if you are connected but you fell off the wagon. Connect with your child and use AI. Fantastic.
On that note, thank you very much, Robbie. It was really wonderful speaking with you today and hearing. Thank you so much, and really learning about your views on how we can use AI responsibly in childcare and childcare development. And thanks for sharing your personal stories.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Always.
Lovely to have you. Definitely check out the book Choices. I think there's a Choices version 2 that should come out with the AI. I think
the series
should definitely come out. That's for sure. And thank you so much.
Thank you.